I'm Samantha Mello.
I'm Max Mello.
We have 2 kids, Lily and Theo.
Theo, he's a happy kid. He's his unique self. He loves outside. When he's outside, he's happy.
Yeah.
He calms down, he relaxes, he looks at everything, even if it's just under a canopy of trees. He just loves it.
Theo was born in 2015. He had a normal pregnancy, normal birth, but then right after Theo was born, everyone started asking questions. He has a genetic condition. It's called POLR1A, and upon his diagnosis, he was the 4th person in the world with what he has. He has hypotonia, so he lacks the ability to stand or walk or talk, and sometimes breathing can be difficult too.
He's gonna come sit by us, okay?
He also has epilepsy. We don't know what the future is. Right now, we're just taking it day by day and just trying to enjoy him for the time we have, because we just don't know how long that is. It could be a long time, and it just might not be. So we just have to really cherish the moments that we do have as best we can.
Hey, who's that? Y'all just cruising the kitchen?
Cruising through.
Hey, you crazy kids.
Lily, she loves him.
Mm-hmm.
And when he sees her, she can hit him in the face and like be annoying, and he just
smiles.
He smiles.
I want her and Theo to build that relationship and build those memories so she has them for the rest of her life. That's just so important to me.
Yeah.
Last time.
So one of Theo's doctors recommended that he go to Make-A-Wish.
And the only wish we could all come up with together as a family, everyone agreed it had to be something outside.
Yeah. So instead of doing just one big trip and being done with it, we really wanted something that could kind of keep on giving, so we agreed on a camper. The first time we actually went camping, and we got out of the car, had the camper set up, we were under the trees at the campsite.
The nurse was holding him while we were setting a camp up, and she was leaned back with him in her arms, and when she leaned back, his expression was just to look up. And it was just so special. He just couldn't stop staring up at all the canopy of the trees with the light filtering through. He stared up and just lit up. He was just happy. And I think that's the moment we were all looking forward to. We've gone to Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia, South Mountain State Park, and Arrowhead Campgrounds on Baden Lake.
The ray of light that it brings to his life that otherwise can be very difficult day to day is immeasurable. This is shaping us as a family, I think, for the best. And
it's not just about Theo. It is, but it's about all of us.
Mm-hmm. I think with Make-A-Wish, you see tangible results. There's so many people out there that maybe get overlooked or lost or hidden that deserve it.
And Make-A-Wish really shines a light on them.
Yeah.
This will never be able to be thanked enough. There's just not enough thank yous. And there never will be.
Hey now, good afternoon, Symmetry Nation. Welcome. I am Kevin Purdy, Executive Vice President, direct to Lynn Watkins, part of the Watkins Agency, but part of Symmetry as well, direct to Symmetry. And I like that line in the video there from Make-A-Wish. It's all about all of us, and we have a big panel today, excited to share with everybody about all of us. Some top leaders in the company, and we're fired up here, rolling into the last week, right before Turkey Day. So we're excited to share with you everything that's going on. I got my co-host too, radio co-host here on the Zoo. Could we call it the Zoo? Cicily Newsom. Hey now, Cicily.
Hey now, Kevin. We're trying our best. We're trying.
You're wearing the hat.
Yeah. Look at this. I paid $300 for this Quility hat because I won a bid for Symmetry swag. This is pretty much gold rim, Quility branded. That's how
I love it
here at Symmetry. Price is only an option in the absence of an issue in the absence of value, Kevin. So it was a no-brainer for me to be able to spend $300 for this hat because of the value of things like what we just saw on that video. So honored to be here with you today, buddy.
I've learned that you're wearing the hat I was bidding frantically against on my app. You're the person that won the app. Won the hat. Good for you. Mm-hmm. We've noticed that leadership here. Casey Watkins on it. Hey, Case, we'll get.
What's up, buddy?
He's wearing a hat too.
Yeah, not a sweet quility hat like that. I need to get me one of those. Good to see you guys.
I know. Same here.
What a week.
Same here.
What a week.
You know,
How
Casey,
big of a week?
We're all kind of like, you know, Kevin and I are trying our best to be like you and Brandon. Like, how would Brandon and Casey kick off a call? And so then the fact that you're on here is kind of throwing us off because we're like, well, man, do we just turn it back to him?
No, y'all run with it. We got so much good stuff going on. I wanted to hop on and congratulate everyone. So let's get into it. Get the leaderboards rolling.
All right, cool. We'll get the leaderboards rolling here. We'll share my screen. This is big. This is nerve-wracking. You know, it took Brandon a while to do this. So here we go.
See how good you are.
Boom. Wait for it. Damn. How's that look, huh? Winner, winner. Turducken dinner. There you go. There you go. Turducken. Some people know all about the turducken. There's our national call today. Pro tips for the holidays. How to set up your Prosperous. It's covered. New year. Yours truly, Kevin Purdy and Cicily Newsom, along with special guests Marshall Wayland, Edward Pritchett, Ryan Delaney, and Mr. Danny Young. Looking forward to this call. It's going to be a big one. Let's move on here. Top new writers of the week. There you go. Congratulations to our top new writers of the week. This is out of all the symmetry here. Let's take a look at the top three. Robert Casey, congratulations, 7,500. Luke Joy, 9,345. Way to go, Luke. And the number one Symmetry Financial Group writer for the week, last week, Weller R. Thomas, $10,103. And don't forget the 39 cents. Way to go, Weller Thomas. Moving right along, top 10 producers, APV. What does that stand for if you're new to Symmetry? Annual premium volume. Our annual premium volume, our average sale here is around $85 times 12 months, about $1,000. So check out what these top 10 producers are doing last week. There's your top 10. Let's take a peek at the top three. Eric Gurr. Would you say that's Gurr there, Cicely? What a name to have in sales.
I would say
Right.
Grr.
Gurr.
Yeah, put a little.
Yeah. I mean, to make it in the top three in all Symmetry, you need a little grr, wouldn't you say, sis? I mean, 19 grand. That's awesome. Way to go, Eric. Sean Hogue, 22,293 cents. Way to go, Sean. And our number one producer last week in Symmetry. What an honor. Lee Jadleka. How's that, Cicely? $24,370. That's killer, Lee. Way to go.
You're nailing this.
App count. This is app count. Look at the top 10 there. Way to go. All double digits, top three. All right, Cicely, you want to try that one?
I got you on this.
Arantxa?
I got you. It's Aranza. I know her personally. It's Aranza Larrigan. She's Spanish. Aranza. Nailed it.
Perfect. I'm glad you're here, sis. Aranza Larrigan. Way to go, 15 applications. Eric Gurr back in the spotlight with 16 apps. Way to go, Eric. And it's a tie between Elliot Freer and Harrison Zipkin. Way to go with 17 apps. Way to go, guys. Love that. Boom. It's a tie for first. Moving right along. Oh, we're going backwards. Hang on to your hats, kids. All right. Top three Medicare supplement producers week to date. Gathan Hill. Yathan, sis. 22,224. Douglas Drake, 3,307. Number one Medicare supplement producer, Kent Bachman, 9 apps for $15,816.96. Way to go, Kent. Top 5 critical illness producers for the week. Top 3, Brandon Kaiser, 4 apps, $26.65. Julie Sarah, 2 apps for $3,034. Number 1 critical producer illness. Roneka Bosham, 1 app for $5,422. Way to go. Disability income producers. Here's our top 5 you're looking at. Gail and Courtney. Richard Helm, 1 app for $2,316. Carrie Aguilar, 1 app for $2,711. And our number 1 disability income producer for last week. There you go. Where is it? No, come on, baby. Oh, Lee. There you go. Lee Jedlika. Cicily, I noticed that my mouse is a little sensitive. Is there like anything we can do about a sensitive mouse? I don't know. Top 5 IUL producers. Martin Deshawn. Top 3 Carolyn Aristotle, 2 apps for $51.95. Nicole Hotman, 1 app for $5,725. Number 1 IUL producer last week, Robert Casey, with 1 app for $9,855. Way to go there, RC. Top 5 annuity producers last week. Here you go. Janice Rick, Barbara Ruger, $230,000. Way to go, Barbara. Donald Aldrich, $293,804.66. And our number 1 annuity producer last week, Criselda Mankin, with $1 million annuity. This is what I always call game changers, Cicely, right? Annuity. I mean, those are all some good size annuities. Way to go. Top 5 debt-free life producers. You got George Reyna, Weller Thomas with $11,872. Eric Johnson with $12,977. Our number 1 debt-free life producer last week. Anna Maria Meeker with $21,289.80. Way to go, Anna Maria Meeker. Here we go. Recruits for the week. These are base shop recruits for the week. Tie. We got a tie going on again. Jacob Pogue, 7 in the base shop. Way to go, Jacob. Mike and Christine Wright with 9. Way to go, Wright. And there's our tie. Chris Cook and Andrew Jimenez with 10 new recruits.
Yes.
Now, if you're on the host line, you just want to mute your line for us all. And our top 3 directs for the week, Miranda Martin, fan favorite, 21 recruits. Way to go, Miranda. Kevin Purdy, 28 recruits. And out there, number 1 land, Jacob Pogue with 33 recruits in his direct agency. Way to go there, Jacob Pogue. New riders for the week, Mike and Sarah Pappas, 2. Janet and George Matthews, 2. Grace and Shane Webb with 4. Way to go there, Grace and Shane. Top 3 new riders direct. We got Sean Shannon with 6, Jacob Pogue with 8, and yours truly with 9 new riders for the week. So congratulations, all our new riders in our base shops and directs. Top 10 key leaders. There you go. Peruse them. Look at those numbers. Look at the top 5. Those are all big numbers. Congratulations, everyone. Keith Fonseca with 19,295. There you go, DJ. Number 2, Jordan Conkey with 19,505. Way to go, Jordan. And our number 1 key leader, knocking on the door to agency owner, Connie Upperwood with $25,055.78. Way to go there, Connie. Key leaders, looking at the future leadership of Symmetry right there. Way to go. Top 10 agency owners, and all over $25,000 in annual premium volume in these agency owners agencies. Way to go. Top 3, Menno Glick, 31,496. Number 2, Lee Jedlika. You're all over the leaderboards this week, Lee. Way to go. $41,967. Great team effort there. And Ryan Federico with $51,419. Way to go, Ryan. Top 10 base shops. all, again, just knocking over 25,000. Top three, George and Janet Matthews. Way to go, Matthews. $38,357.56. Melissa Weigel, $50,843.11. And number one base shop last week, CC, Chris Cook, $76,302.49. Way to go, Tennessee, Chris Cook. Here we go. Top 10 agency directors. Melissa Weigel knocking in there with $86,096.31 in the top three. Griff Martin, $93,921 for number two. And number one, Larry Griffin, Maryland's finest, right there, $127,077.76. And don't forget about Mrs. Griffin, too. Ann Griffin, way to go. Larry and Ann Griffin, top 10 agency directors. Here's our top 10 RADs, regional agency directors and above. Look at those names up there. Way to go, everybody. Top three, Lynn Watkins, $486,615. Way to go there, Linwood. Number two, Edward Pritchett, going to be on today's call, $817,467.34. And also on today's call, way to go, Marshall Wayland. Look at that whole team effort. $946,167.22. Way to go there, Wayland team. Top 10 directs. These are folks direct to Symmetry. Kishan Monteith, $185,917.01. Number two, Jacob Pogue, $219,431.34. And number one, there you go. There's that guy, Kevin Purdy, $246,674.78. Way to go, everyone there in Symmetry. Here we go. We have this cool contest going on, provided to us by John Hancock, an e-bike contest. And like Casey Watkins will tell you, it's not really a pedal bike. It's not an electric bike. It's really a dirt bike. I can do about 55 miles an hour. I mean, it's just smoking. Great contest to get out there and enjoy the environment. Look at these folks. They're going to give 3 of these away. Look at all these folks in here writing John Hancock to win a electric dirt bike. This is crazy. William Van Vleck, $21,883. Way to go, William. Theodore Pritchett, $26,528. That's going to be really cool to see Edward's dad doing wheelies on a dirt bike, doing some tabletops. Way to go there, Theo. And number one, California, just killing it. Nick and Patty Compatore, $29,153. Way to go. Nick and Patty, you guys are going to have to share one. So, Nick, are you going to be riding them? You going to be driving? There's Patty. I don't know. Well, you're going to have to let us know possibly if you win. Here we go. Announcements of the week. Cicily, what do you think of all this going on?
You know, first of all, my question real quick on the e-bike, does that come with a free side of disability insurance, that e-bike? Is that, we worked in with John Hancock, just a little free side of disability, like a little sidekick of disability there to go with that e-bike? Maybe we need it. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, you know, maybe you can get a lesson from Casey. You know, he's no stranger to, getting dirty and out there on fast trails.
And
so,
if there's ever if you had to categorize the safest type of bike that goes over 20, that's not a pedal bike, I would classify this as probably the easiest, safest bike you could ride. It's got a mode on it to where it will go in eco, so you can kind of putt around and go slow and learn it. The throttle isn't too crazy. There's no hot pipes to burn your legs on. There's no clutch. There's no gears. It's just literally a throttle and brakes. And my wife has thrown her leg over mine. She's not big on trying new things like that, especially like a dirt bike. But I've seen pretty much her and a bunch of others that have never really had any experience on a bike before throw their leg over and ride it around like it was nothing. So, yeah.
I've actually had a biking lesson from Casey, and it was really as in depth as the lessons we got here when we got started, which is like, go out there and make a mess, and we'll help you clean it up. But like, go out there and get bloody. And
The best way to learn, right?
That's how we do it here. So yeah.
That's right.
You can tell how Casey, he was #1 sales guy before, because he's getting he's establishing when we like him, we trust him. Now we're going to buy from him. We're going to go out and buy that e-bike.
That's right.
He's giving us stories, facts, benefits, features.
That's right, man.
So beer bonding.
It's a good one though. This beta version of this software coming. Yeah, we're excited about this. I keep getting little sneak peeks at what's coming for you guys. So it's gonna be a good one.
So AOs, check your email from the home office next week. More information on this. So the functionality, feedback, that's all good stuff. Communication, right, Case? Is that how we're just killing it out here as a company?
Right, man. Be good.
Upcoming,
and again, we're on such the early stage of the tech right now. We really haven't even started building the future state. As we shared with you guys, first step is kind of modernizing our entire approach, which surprisingly, really no competitors have even modernized their platform. But just taking that step and modernizing the platform is going to allow all of you guys all of the information and the feedback and the metrics you need to manage your business appropriately and efficiently and effectively. Again, it all comes back to time and money. That's our whole foundation. That's our biggest value proposition. Everyone else talks about their, they have the best this or the best that. Our value prop is the result. And the result is time and money. And everything we're building behind the scenes is to help you guys make a lot more money in a lot less time with a lot less energy, stress, all the other things that go along with running a business. And this HQ is going to be the foundation of that, the HQ of how you run your business. And again, you guys are just getting ready to see the early stages of it, but very important things coming down the road on that platform to help you with time and money, because that's the name of the game.
Casey, this type of stuff for everybody is brand new here to Symmetry. I haven't been a part of the Symmetry family now for over 8 years. I can tell you, with all the changes, the growth that we've had throughout all the years, that every time you've made an update, a change, it's increased my profitability. I know it's increased my agent's profitability.
Yeah.
And it's all given us time. So I know sometimes folks, when they hear like, hey, we got this coming out, how's that going to affect? Is it going to be more, is it going to take more time? Is it going to, take away from some of my profitability? And it's never happened before here.
Good. That's what we're driving for.
Thursday, tomorrow, sales training webinar is canceled due to the holiday. And also the Connect call is canceled as well. So connect with your families tomorrow. Right, Case? Is that good advice?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Monday, November 30th. There we go. We have Monday sales training, 12 o'clock Eastern, hosted by agency director Penny Blackman and agency owner Alyssa Bergfeld. Spin into your success. And also getting your custom. I just missed that. There you go. Getting your custom. It's hidden behind my little screen here. Getting your customers to ask you for the sale. And then December 10th and 11th, mark it down in your calendars. DFL Virtual Boot Camp. Register on the event page. There you go. We have our 90-day direct blitz going on from October 2nd to January 1st. What is the blitz all about? Well, it's total percentage of growth submitted over the fourth quarter compared to the average between March and August. So way to go there in the blitz. Top 3 directs will win the Symmetry Lake House Retreat. Check this out. This place is fantastic, by the way, Casey. You guys are spoiling these winners here.
Trying to, man.
Professional business coaching and surf lessons on a lake with Casey. How do you surf, Case, on a lake? I mean, don't you need Shouldn't need to be on the beach, like in an ocean.
That's the beauty of the time we're living in, man. Not anymore. You can surf behind a boat. There's a certain type of boat that has enough weight in it in the back that it displaces enough water and creates a wave. And the cool part about this wave is it's never ending. As long as the boat can drive, you can surf on this wave. Whereas like when you go to the beach, it's really hard to learn to surf because you get a couple seconds here and there of standing up. This is just a never-ending perfect wave. And it's surprisingly very easy to do. You're only going like 8 or 10 miles an hour. So it's real friendly on the body. I've never seen anyone hurt themselves surfing behind a boat before. So yeah, it's fun, safe, and you're gonna enjoy it. And if you want to get behind the boat and learn to surf, we'll show you how.
Nice. That could be your marketing plan here at Symmetry. I mean, you guys make the waves, quality, y'all making the waves, and we just surf behind it.
It's good. We'll run that past the marketing team, see what they think.
There you go.
I like
A night under the stars. All right, Case. Got you on here. We're going to put you to work. Huge event y'all had last Thursday. Congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone, and just what a highlight in really the 11 years we've had this company. And we always do this. We always underestimate what the Symmetry family will do. And we didn't quite know how to set a goal for this event. Annually we've been together here in Asheville for the last 3 or 4 years, and we've always done our dodgeball tournament or 10K or 5K or something to kind of bring everyone together, and that connection is unbelievable. And it's a great way for us to raise some money. I think in previous years we've raised like 100,000 at that event. And so we set our goal at 60,000, thinking, this is a virtual event. We weren't quite sure what to expect. We started feeling a little bit better about it as we got closer. As you guys know, if you were on the call last week, we started thinking, man, I think we could blow past 60. I think we could hit 100. So we had the idea that we were going to jump in my cold pool if we went over 100. And in a little less than an hour and a half together with you guys, we all raised over $260,000. I mean, that's national newsworthy in my opinion. That's a very big deal. To do that for Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish was texting us during the event while you guys were out there, Marshall and all of you guys were fighting over, who could spend the most on a TV for Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish was texting us, blown away. They've never seen anything like this. And man, we could not be more proud and more happy. And like I said, that night, considering that some of the struggle that everyone has been through this year, man, we totally outshined that with positivity last week with this event. One of the most proud moments we've ever had as a company. So thank you guys. What a great cause, and think about how many wishes. I think we calculated over 40 wishes that we were able to grant in an hour and a half together. And we saw with the family video, if you were on the call early enough, just what kind of impact it makes. That's one example. That's one story, and not just for the kid, but for the parents and everything they've went through, and to see that and that memory they're going to be able to carry on. And that's one story. We did that for 42. How many families? Again, I should get the math out here. Did that for over 40 families. That's a big deal. That's impact.
Casey, can I say something here on this one?
Yeah.
My husband Ayers last night was he was reminding Brian Delaney and I. He said, without gratitude, there is no empathy. And it's funny because, like, if you think about that, like a charity raising money for something that we believe in, I think people are blown away by Symmetry all the time with how generous we are. And it's because we're grateful. Like, we're grateful and for what you guys have done. We're grateful for the way that you've led from the front on these events every single year. And it's that gratitude that allows us to open our hearts to a cause like this. And so I'm so proud to work for a company where gratitude is the basis of everything we do, because it allows us to give in ways that that we may not be able to if we're not considered how grateful we are. So thank you for that, man.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you so much. What a night.
Congrats,
Can't wait for
man.
next year.
Yeah. You set the bar high, really.
Well, we learned a lot too. We learned a lot from this event. Afterwards, we're going, man, if we had done this differently, if we had done this, we would have went over 300,000. And I think we're just excited about next year's event together. However that may be, live, virtual, a combination of both. I think we're gonna have another big night for Make-A-Wish. So awesome.
Get the band back together next year.
Right. Yeah, we might have to.
Well, we're gonna get right back to you, Case, in just a minute there. Yeah. We have Tool of the Week here, and your host is with Moses, Kevin Purdy here. He's going to be covering the Tool of the Week with you. Where can you find Tool of the Week? Well, you can find that in SFG Life under the Thrive program there, Thrive tab. This is chapter 12, the X Factor. We're not talking Simon Cowell or any of that stuff. We're talking about how can you get stuff done quickly, and what are your high priority activities and what are your low priority activities, and where's the urgency? The thing with this business, everything really runs on urgency. Are you doing the right thing at the right time, or are you doing the wrong thing at the wrong time? So the Tool of the Week here, you can see this really was developed out of Eisenhower. If you watch the video there, and it's about chapter 12 there, Jordan's talking about giving us a little history lesson on Dwight D. Eisenhower, how when he was in the military there, and what's important things to do and what's not important things to do, and leading ourselves and leading others to profitability, to more time with their families. What's the goal? So one of the things is they really talk about what's the difference between like regular performers and high performers. And the first thing is awareness. Think about it. Here is the day before a holiday. And we've all heard this story before where, you're only working a half day, or your relatives are going to be in town in the next 2 hours, and you have certain stuff to do. You have certain priorities. Are you going to sit on the couch and, chill out and read a chapter in a book? Or are you going to do things? Are you going to get ready for your company? Are you going to get ready for your flight? And so how we're acting and how we're managing our time and what's important and what's not important. It really found out that high performers have this attitude a lot of times. Like it doesn't have to be they're going to Milwaukee today and they got to be on a flight, or Aunt Ruth is coming over. They're really prioritizing their time and what they're doing. So tough decisions. We talk about what tasks do you focus on? And the thing in our business, you just saw the Blitz conference, or the Blitz contest going on. We have, what is the Blitz? Casey talks about it a lot of times. We have two boxes. We have our production box, that's like right now, 15 to 20 appointments for our high performers. Like you look at some of those folks, Elliot and Harry there had 17 apps this week. They're seeing a lot more people. They have more appointments. So, that's your producer box. And then your builder's box is what we call STP. No, we're not talking about Stone Temple Pilots, although I love Stone Temple Pilots, little interstate love song coming at you. No, we're talking about sharing the plan. I first heard that from Chris Cook, Tennessee's finest. Sharing the plan, sharing symmetry. And the key is just to share. Don't you try to explain it. Let symmetry try to explain it. So those are really the two. When we look at building an agency and providing for your family, those are two big things. Are you taking the necessary activities? Are you picking up the phone? Are you using virtual dialer? Are you getting after it? And then also, are you sharing symmetry? Who do you know? So prioritize the urgency and the importance, and looking to your upline manager and asking, hey, I want what you want. What do I need to be focusing on? So you can see here how they put the X there, right? High importance on the right-hand side, high urgency on the left. And then down below there in the lower quadrant, for all my Kiyosaki fans there, low importance, what's not so important? And then the low urgency. So high urgency and high performance, that equals focus. We're focused, we're fired up. And are you focused there? Okay. So let's move on. Here's a good little, you can print this right off Symmetry's website here. So right up there in the V up there, am I focused here? So going into, and we're going to be talking a little bit about this with our panel, like, what do you need to be focusing on? If you're not happy with your sales this week, if you didn't share the plan too much this week, what should I be focusing on in the next couple of days? Maybe picking up the phone and reaching out and calling people. Maybe you're going to be with family and friends. Who do you know who's sick and tired of being sick and tired? Who do you know used to make $100 grand? Now they're not making anything. Who do you know where we can introduce those people to Symmetry? So you want to write those things down. And then the high importance and low urgency, that stuff we need to schedule, right? It's important. You got to have it on the calendar so you don't miss it. It's like, give you an example in Symmetry. What's high importance, low urgency? Well, you could say, well, every week I need to replenish my lead sources. So yeah, that's important, but you're going to have some time to do it. So you want to schedule that. So you make sure that your inventory is full when, like they say here in racing, when the green flag drops, you're ready. You're ready to jump on the gas there. So that's stuff you want to schedule and plan, right? It's like when I started out of college, Mutual of New York, they talk this whole thing like successful people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. So there you go. Plan it, right? All right. High urgency, low importance. What's that all about? Well, it's urgent for my foreigner fans. It's urgent. We got to plan for it, and we got to find somebody else to do this. You know, who do you know that, like, I remember when I was brand new in this business, I started making some money. You know, I delegated mowing the lawn to be mowed by my kids. And that made me feel great. Like you got to get the lawn mowed, but make your 12-year-old do it. You know, if you don't have kids, then maybe you want to hire somebody to mow your lawn as an example. Where it's urgent, yeah, you want it to look good, but do you need to be doing that? Do you need to be wasting your time doing that? Years ago when I'm Warren Market, I was brought into Symmetry by a friend of mine. And here it is, Saturday morning, we're dialing, really fast. And my phone rings, and it's his name's Kai, and he's calling me. I'm like, what's going on? He should be dialing too. And so I answered the phone because he was like triple dialing me. I thought it was important. Hello? He goes, hey man, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm making phone calls, trying to book appointments, set my week up. He goes, oh, I was chopping some trees down in my backyard. It was a nice day. I figured I'd get after it. I'm like, well, what's going on here? Yeah, that might be a little urgent, but it's low importance. What's more important is now, especially on a Saturday morning, is dialing the phone to make appointments to go out and see and protect people. So maybe you can make a lot of money, like some of our top performers you saw today, so you can pay somebody to chop the trees down. So that's high urgency, low importance. And the last one is low urgency and low importance down there in the Southern Hemisphere. Like, who can help you do this? Think about it like going back in school. If you have a homework project, when it's a group project, were you that type of kid? Like, oh, awesome, Cicily is in my group. Perfect. She can be the team leader. She'll get all the arts and crafts and the graphs ready. And I can put in, I can color it in. Like, who can you find that likes to do the stuff that you might not like to do? Who can do this? Like, for example, some of our top sales performers here, you're writing a lot of business. Who can help you admin-wise? Our big builders, who's the person that can help you with contracts and getting processed and taking care of your business? The more you can delegate, you're going to elevate not only your feeling, you're happy, but also your bank account too. So that is the X Factor. Check it out. Highly recommend it. As Jim Rohn will tell you, is it easy to do? Yes. Is it easy not to do? You bet. So there you go. Instructional videos, exercises. You can find it in Thrive 101 course and Quility U. That's all we got there. Mr. Casey. Casey Watkins.
Good job covering that, man.
Thank you.
Brought some old
stop sharing my
back.
Screen here.
You brought some old stuff back, which is needed. You know? Because while it may be old to some of us, it's new to most people. I mean,
right.
It wasn't when I got in this business that I started to kind of, see some of these things and read it in books. And I love what Delaney and I were talking a couple weeks ago, and he reminded me that in a lot of ways we're chief reminder officers. It's not the new stuff that we hear that we need to share with the people. It's the old stuff a lot of times that we just forget to talk about because it's just maybe been part of our journey for so long. So love that stuff. Time management, so big. I remember sitting down and going through just a pretty simple exercise with my wife, which was to determine, what are the things that are highly important. And generally those things are directly related to especially around business, directly related to your future health of your business, the future growth of your business. And, most of those things were things that I was good at, the sales part of the job, the recruiting part, the leadership development, the training, that kind of thing. And so, how can you take your time and instead of spending 20 hours a week doing urgent, not important, and 20 hours a week doing important, how can I spend all of my time doing the highly important, not necessarily urgent stuff? If I can spend double the amount of time doing that, then I can double my income. It's always think about, well, what's the hourly net worth here of this activity? And if I can pay someone else, like if I know when I'm on the phone booking appointments, I'm worth X amount an hour. Like I make $150,000 a year selling insurance. I work 30 hours a week doing that. What's my hourly net worth while I'm doing that activity? Okay, think about those things. Think about your hourly net worth. What am I worth in that hour? You take your highest net worth activities, which I can assure you pretty much anyone on this call, you're a good salesperson. And therefore, to me, you also make a good leader. And if you have the ambition to build a business, you should, because there's a lot of opportunity to do that and a lot at stake right now. So those two activities, if you can figure out to spend most of your time doing that, delegate the other stuff. Not that some of it's important, some of it's urgent and important. Delegate that, free up more of your time to do the activities and make you a bunch of money, and then reinvest and continue leaning into that. And your high important stuff will start to change. All of a sudden, you've graduated yourself from having to be in the field. See, most companies, Kevin, they want you to be in the field. But what I know is that I make more. We're in the override game, just like all of you are who are building a business, right? I would rather override Kevin's $500 an hour work than his $150 an hour work. See, Kevin's worth $150 an hour in the field, but he's worth $500 leading. I want to override Kevin's $500 an hour work. So the more you can, the point with our company is to graduate yourself in a pretty quick period of time to where you can get to that $500, $600, $800,000 an hour activity. And that will not necessarily be selling insurance. It may be leading a team of people selling insurance, also graduating them to that $500 an hour work. But what you just showed is the key to that system. It is time management and energy management along with that. Those two things really kind of go hand in hand. So that is awesome stuff. On that note, Before we kind of dig into some of the content, I did want to just congratulate everyone on such a monster week. This was our record week since COVID. So since COVID hit and we took a little bit of a dip, understandably, 10-15% dip, this is the largest week we've had since the start of this pandemic. And I just think, and it's very, very close to our record week ever as a company. I think we're a month away from hitting those numbers again. So we're climbing up very steadily, and just wanted to congratulate everyone on such a monster week. One of the other things I wanted to hit on real quickly was, part of this process we're going through behind the scenes with hiring the very high level people we're bringing in, the consultants, to really kind of lean into the tech build out, is first and foremost understanding what and why we're building the tech. And so some of what needed to go into place before that was, let's understand what it is that makes an agent successful. And so we've had our old restaurant downstairs, Native, a private dining room of that converted to what we're all referring to here as the War Room. If you walk past Whitson Avenue there, Kevin, and you go past Native and you look in that private dining room, it's not a private dining room anymore. It's filled from floor to ceiling with big sticky notes and little sticky notes. It's like a beautiful mind in there. And there are a lot of beautiful minds in that room, really digging in and analyzing the agents that start with us, how they start, what type of leads they work, what type of, every possible thing we can measure from a data point, we're putting it in there, and we're trying to determine what is it that creates a successful new agent? What is it that creates the best retention? And very excited to kind of start sharing a lot of these numbers with you guys, but we're not ready for that. But the one thing that I do think we're starting to see is the value, and we talk about this sometimes. My point in coming on today and talking about it is just to make sure that we continue talking about it, is the importance of our leads, and specifically A leads under management. We sometimes we'll share that with the agency owners, the metrics of our system. How many A leads under management, Kevin, does your team need to hit certain numbers? Like if your goal is to hit $50,000 a month of production, roughly what is the company average amount of A leads that you need to be distributing for your team to hit that number? We know those numbers. Now we know them even better. We know some of the ratios a little bit better, but that data is kind of speaking to us a little bit more and showing us that, man, the right amount of A leads, both for new producers, for top producers, and for people building a team, is an important thing to keep an eye on. I think sometimes maybe we've been a little bit guilty of maybe kind of putting a little bit too much focus on PPLs and profitability. And while that's extremely important, it's only half the story. The first half of the story is you got to have the right amount of A leads in someone's hands. Maybe we hire an agent and we spend 3 to 4 weeks kind of putting them on bonus leads, and maybe they never actually get to the point where they're working A leads. I think we used to talk about this more, but the value of getting to the point as quickly as you can to where you're investing $500, $600, $800, $1,000 a week in A leads, and then putting together with that the right ratio of bonus leads. Generally, the rule of thumb would be around at least 2 times the amount of bonus leads. But we're starting, and again, we're going to share a lot more of the data with you as it comes to us. But that A leads under management is an important thing to keep an eye on. I would encourage everyone on this call, because if we look at our top producers, they're pretty A lead heavy, and again, they work a good amount of bonus leads, but they're not just working bonus leads. They're working the right amount of A leads. I know when I was in the field, it was generally, I wanted a minimum of 10 if I could get that. Some of you guys are going, well, I go on off and I don't see leads in my backyard, right? Well, a couple things. First of all, we're living in a cool world right now where the borders are down because we're virtual. 60, 70% of our sales weekly right now are virtual, meaning I don't have to sell in my backyard and I don't have to drive to Charleston, South Carolina to run appointments. I can do this from the comfort of my own home and drop the borders down and call where the leads are. If you're still running face-to-face, great. You may just have to travel a little bit. But the second point is we shared that vendor list with a lot of the managers. That third-party vendor list is extremely large. There's a lot of vendors on there. We're continuing to add more on there as we vet them. I would encourage you to purchase the leads that we generate in-house first. That should be at the top of the list because there's a lot more vetting that goes into that, and there's a lot more subsidy that goes into that. Meaning when you purchase a lead from Symmetry through Opt, generally speaking, that lead is going to cost the company $10, $15, $20 or more on top of what you invested. So we're kind of sharing some of that cost. That said, if you don't have leads in a certain area, it might be a good idea to get with your agency owner and just check that vendor list because there's more than likely a lot of leads available to you. So I would just be thinking about as we're heading in through the rest of the year through the Blitz. We have double production credit on ears. We probably have some more double production coming on Costa Rica. I just think there's a lot of opportunity to create some massive momentum, and a component of that will be how you manage your lead flow and how many A leads you're working with your bonus leads. So just want everyone to keep an eye on that. Don't burn yourselves out working just bonus leads. Let's get the A leads in the mix. Make sure that make sure you get to that point where you have that $500, $600, $800 a week, even $1,000 a week potentially, if you're going to be really trying to push a bunch of appointments in. We got a lot at stake as a company, and I want everyone to kind of recognize that cash flow is king, because cash flow is the thing that's going to help you invest in your business and get to that point where you're really in that $500 an hour plus net worth. But it starts with being a very good high level producer in the field and being very efficient with your time in the field. So the right lead mixture is important in that equation. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there for everyone. I know y'all are probably going to hit on some of that today as well. But I'll turn it over to you guys. Man, I can't think of a recent call where we've had the hitters we have on, Purdy, with you, Delaney, Pritchett, Cicily, Danny Young, and Marshall Wayland. Am I missing anyone? You're talking to, I mean, again, when have we had a call like this where we have this many advisory board members all getting ready to just unload their brains on you as far as how do you set yourself up for a monster year? And man, I can't think of a better team to do it. So thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Casey. Appreciate you and all that you, Brandon, and Brian have done here at Symmetry. It's just, I know it's life changing.
100% mutual. Grateful for you all, and have a great week. Enjoy the call, and enjoy some time with the family. Don't eat too much turkey.
Awesome. Thanks, Casey.
See you guys.
Being on. Awesome, you guys. I'm fired up. If I could get everybody to just go ahead and show their handsome faces here. A quick side note, guys, we actually do not have Delaney today. Just a little bit of a high important, high urgency thing that had to be taken care of. But I promise you that these guys are going to deliver even in his absence. So welcome everybody who has joined us today. My name is Cicily Newsom. I am direct to Brian Delaney, proud to be part of Symmetry Financial Group through the help of mentorship, like my good buddy here, Edward Pritchett. He hates it when I call him this, but I call him Grandpappy Pritchett because technically, in the hierarchy, that's where he would fall for me. So Grandpappy Pritchett, younger than me, which is awesome. But so I'm really grateful to be in this lineup. I want to take a quick moment. Can we just give a golf clap to Kevin Purdy for those leaderboards? Because I think, we underestimate like how Brandon makes it look so smooth. He just makes it look so smooth. I was over here sweating for you. Like, you got a PowerPoint, there's top 3, there's technology, there's all these crazy names. So, awesome job, Purdy, on the leaderboard.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, I'm going to talk just for a second, guys, because the value here is not in anything that I have to say today. I'm just going to facilitate these studs that I have on the call here and talking about really how to set up the holidays now to have a prosperous new year. What we do now is going to determine how we feel January 1 coming into this thing, right? What we do now. How many people do you know that they wait until that New Year's resolution and then, man, January 1, the gym is full, right? It's full. Everybody's on it. But December, the gym is pretty empty, right? The gym is pretty empty in December. So what we want to do with this call today is get you guys ahead of the game. Let's go ahead and resolve now. Let's not wait till January 1 to resolve what we're going to do for the new year. Let's go ahead and do that now so that we can build on what John Maxwell calls the big momentum. So, man, the lineup I have today is just incredible. So we've got Executive Vice President, Mr. Kevin Purdy, top producer as well in the company, heavyweight champion. This guy, long before advanced markets, long before crazy disability income products and critical illness, this guy wrote $100,000 in a month off of simplified issue mortgage protection. Do you have the belt? Do you keep the heavyweight belt in your office, Kevin? Is it like on the wall?
No, it's in the garage.
No, in the garage. You should bring that out. But anyway, just through October, not even counting November, already $10 million inside the agency that he's developed there, guys. So we're going to be hearing a little bit more from Kevin Purdy. We've got Mr. Marshall Wayland, managing partner, equity partner, advisory board member, along with Kevin. $31,600,000 just as of October in the agency, not even counting November yet. $31,642,000. Can't wait to hear from my good buddy Marshall. We got Mr. Edward Pritchett, my grandpappy, senior partner there, also equity partner with the company. Also $31,239,000 as through the month of October. So I hope that this is giving you guys a little bit of street cred as to why you should be paying attention. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we have Mr. Danny Young, senior partner with the company, equity partner, $16 million already through October for the year. So one of the reasons that I was so excited about having these guys on is they've seen some holidays in this business. You've seen a few holidays, right? And I think it's interesting, Kevin, you had the tool of the week up there, and something that really sparked me that kind of sidelined from what I was going to talk about is like urgent versus important. And our jobs right now, when we're out there helping families and we're out there helping agents, but especially from the family side, is that the holidays feel urgent, right? It's Black Friday. It's go get that TV. It's like get the discount so you don't have to pay $11,000 for that TV like Marshall did. Like, it's like go. It's urgent. It's like get in the line. It's push people out of the way. It's get the casserole ready. It's like clean the house before Aunt Ruth gets here. It's urgent, 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 urgent. But then we forget about the important. And the important this time of year is that we're with our families. We're thinking about our families and we're planning for the new year. So what you guys are going to learn today from these studs is really about like keeping that momentum, keeping that urgency in front of you to help remind families that what we need to focus on this time of year is what's important. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to turn it right over. Kevin, I want to hear from you first. I want all of us to kind of fill up both buckets today. There's going to be people on this call that are producers. And what do they need to do? What does a personal producer need to do over the holidays to help keep that momentum and going into the new year? And then also, Kevin, what does the leader need to be doing right now during that time? So let's hear from you first. We're just going to go around the horn. It's going to be a super casual conversation. Look forward to getting into it.
You bet, Cicily. Nice working with you here today. You're awesome, by the way. You just add so much value to Symmetry. Really appreciate you, and obviously Ayers as well. You guys are a dynamic duo. From a producer point of view, it's about expect to win, and don't believe the hype. Meaning, if you've had a stressful week or, friends and neighbors that might be like, I don't want anybody to bug me on a weekend. And we take that like, gee, it's it's the Friday after Thanksgiving. Everybody's off. Nobody wants to take a phone call from an insurance dude. We have to change that whole mindset and expect to win and know that the thing I always loved about Symmetry and what they set up for us is just like Casey was talking about, we have these leads and these people took action. They filled out the form, they clicked online, they picked up the phone. And so we're reaching back out to them. And I always thought working on holidays that people's attitude, Cicely, when I got a hold of them, they'd be like, what are you doing calling me? Don't you know? And it was like, my ego was like, I'm like, even though we know we're doing a good job and, what we do is put protection on people and help protect families. My ego was like, man, I'm a loser. Like I'm working on Friday or I'm working on Saturday as this guy right here. Like, man, Purdy, can't you do anything better? Like you have nothing better to do is call on a Saturday morning. These people are going to be annoyed that you're calling. So that's like you hear about like, how do we spend too much time listening to ourselves when we really need to talk to ourselves? And really that guy's like, hey dude, you got to expect to win. These people need your help. Change your attitude. And I found calling on holidays, people's attitude was really good. They're really open, receptive, especially this time of year from the producer box that you're talking about. People are in the buying mode. And also the closer it gets to the end of the year, they're compartmentalizing. They're like, okay, what'd we do this year? It was a crazy year, but we lined up our ducks in a row. Meaning mortgage protection. I remember sending that in. That's good. Let's revisit that. Let's get our protection, our financial house in order. And then on the building side, looking back from the building side, it's an incredible time. What's going on in our marketplace here, what's going on in society. People are looking for an alternative. They're looking to make some part-time income. They're looking to change their careers. They're sick and tired and they're hungry. And so how can the opportunity of Symmetry help them? So it's being open and receptive. And any brand new person on here, I'd recommend that, you don't try to explain all of Symmetry. You use common words people can identify with, like, hey, listen, Cicely, if you're my upline manager or my mentor, and people have known me working in home improvements for, like, I'm talking family and friends for 10 years. And then all of a sudden I'm hanging out tomorrow on a Thursday night with you, Cicely. You're like, hey, if you're looking, my upline mentor. I'm like, what, Purdy? What do you mean an upline mentor? And so it's like kind of your bait. What you're using is like, hey, listen, I'm working with a new company, man. We're rolling. My manager, Cicily Newsom, asked me like, hey, Kevin, who do you know? And this is where you fill in the blanks. Like if I'm talking about Marshall Whalen, I'm like, hey, how's things going? Like one of these, Cicely, you like the turkey? Yeah, things go. Hey, listen, I heard you're like, are you in insurance or what do you? Yeah, how's it going? And you're calm, cool, collected. You got the deal. And you're like, oh man, it's going great. With all that's going on, the company is up. You just heard it from Casey. Record-breaking week since pre-COVID. The company's growing and expanding. Over 67% helping people online. I'm not leaving my house. This is great. I'm happy. The kids are happy. Matter of fact, my manager, Cicily Newsom, asked me like who I knew who is, now I'm thinking Marshall, who's a good leader, who's like has good character, integrity, maybe who's run a business before. And I mentioned to Cicily, well, I know this guy, Marshall Whalen, used to run a mortgage loan company, and times are tough, and now he's kind of bumping around. He might be the one. And now all of a sudden, I say to Marshall, hey, listen, I mentioned you to Cicily, and so I like read through his trophy list real quick, like, hey, how you're really great, and she really wants to talk to you because everybody out here is looking for recognition. I've been at this job for, let's say, hypothetically 10 years, and this company doesn't recognize how much I contribute, how good a work I do. and everything that's going on, people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And they know, going back to Kiyosaki's principles there, get a good job, work really hard, and then you retire and go on the Viking cruise in Europe. Well, you can't go to Europe. Not really doing Viking cruises, right? You got nothing. It's not working. So it's that mindset changing and understanding, like sometimes from a building perspective, we have a tendency to think, everybody will be open and focused to look for a change and opportunity in the new year. Because it's almost like, you like skiing, downhill ski racing. I know Danny Young's going to love this analogy because he lives there in Baton Rouge. Skis, what are you talking about? Downhill skiing? There's hills. But it's like if you wipe out skiing, you still got to get up and make it down the end of the bottom. And sometimes people, with a terrible year, they're looking for a new career opportunity. Sometimes the mindsets are like, I'll just wait. I'll just kind of limp to the finish line, and then I'll start. And what I'm urging folks is now's the time in these social gatherings when the pressure's off, when you can have a chilled conversation. You don't need to be huffy. You don't need to be like, you really good. This is really good. You need to be just relaxed and know that you got the deal. And the hard part is not to explain the whole deal. Like if I'm Marshall's buddy, I'm not explaining to him like, yeah, they have leads and it's really cool. The owner, the founder's talking about we buy leads, and you could really, you just lost the fish right there because you haven't showed enough value and how it all works. So you want to just be a little like, that's a great question. I'm going to have to, let me introduce you. What are you doing Monday? Or maybe I can send you a corporate overview on the company. Check it out. Let me know if this might be a fit. Matter of fact, and if they're saying it's not a fit, oh, I'm good. Who do you know? Marshall, who do you know who's sick and tired of being sick and tired? I'm trying to impress Cicily here, my new boss. Who do you know? And then he might say, you know what? I used to work with this guy, Larry Griffin. He used to be in my mortgage company, and he was a great guy. And I know he's living in Baltimore there, and he's working for this, Stanley Steamer vacuum company, and he's feeling like he's not using his skill set. He might be a guy. Great. Can I get his number? I'll reach out. Boom. And so it's these little relaxed conversations. This is sharing the plan. And I don't want to explain. I'll leave you with this. My buddy Kai, he got hired, Linwood Watkins, hired Kai the third week in December, right? December 20th. Kai sent his application back to Linwood right around the 22nd. Christmas happened, second week in January. Kai's at a birthday party Michelle threw for me and my wife. And he's talking to me like, hey, man, I met this guy starting this insurance company. You should check it out. And I blew him off. 2 days later, he called me back. And he said, hey, remember that guy I was telling you about, the insurance guy? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I talked to him today, and I told him how you been in sales your whole life. Go, Dad, you're a good dude. You're a manager. And he really wants to talk to you. Because he's like, man, that guy sounds like a stud. I was like, who? Really? Yeah. And oh, by the way, this guy's not all full of himself. Like, you upstate New York kids like, hey, let me tell you how great I am and check out my car out there. No, he's like a down to earth, drives a pickup truck, wears jeans, casual, but super successful, and you wouldn't know it. I was like, wow, boom, hook set. Linwood's on the phone. And you see, my point is, my friend Kai did not explain symmetry to me. Linwood did. So when you're in the social gathering, you're looking like this guy or girl, they could be really good here. The key is you got to hold back and not be the deal, not try to explain it. Just because they ask you a question doesn't mean you need to answer it. Remember that. Education told you, we ask you a question, you got to answer. Just remember, just edify, say, that's a great question. I don't know, it could be sales management. Let me get back to you on this. And you get out of there. So many people try to explain symmetry and how it can work for them when they don't have the credibility. They don't have the seat time to do that. And so the more you can get away, and Linwood explained this deal to me, and I made my decision to hook my wagon on the Linwood, not Takai. So do the work, get excited, expect these people when you call them over a holiday, they're in a good mood, they want to buy, they want to take care of their family, and you will win. Don't go in it with, I'm calling. No, get fired up. And on the sharing the business side, now's the time. The pressure's off. The pressure's on them, not on you. And get them in front of people. Get them into the show, and let the rest work for itself.
Yeah, awesome, Kevin. Man, I love it. It's all about the mindset. It's here. I think I'm bothering people. I'm bothering people. If I think I'm going to win and that families need me right now, then families are going to need me right now. So it's so simple and it's so profound. I know that like mindset is 99% of this game. And I love the point that you made too, just from this perspective of like, people are looking now for what their new life is going to be in 2021. Like people are hungry now, and I'm sure others are going to talk about this, so I'll hold it. But like, companies are making financial decisions about who to keep and who to let go. And we're here because we've got the deal. So I love it, Kevin. Thanks, man. We'll hopefully get back to you for some stories here. Edward, I'm going to go to you next. Same exact question. I know that we're going to get a variety of different answers from each of you, which is great. But, you've seen a lot of holidays come and go. I know you've experienced personally some do's and don'ts during the holiday. And what I'd like for you to talk about is like, what are you talking to your producers and your agents about right now on keeping that momentum, building that prosperous new year? And then what are you doing from the leadership side to talk to your existing leadership team for the same thing? How do they keep that momentum for the holiday?
Well, can you hear me okay, Cicily?
It's a little fuzzy. Say it again.
Let me try that one more time. I'm in a remote site right now. Is that coming in better?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. If I do go out, I can always switch over to straight from the phone, and maybe that'll be better.
When you're leaning forward, you're clear. When you lean back, it's a little fuzzier. So you're perfect, just like you are. Don't move.
I won't move from this one spot right here. Well, Edward Pritchett, direct to Symmetry Financial Group, and definitely just a blessing to be able to share a little bit with everyone who's taken the time out to plug in and engage with this amazing company and what Brandon, Casey, and Brian have put together for us. And as we think about how to just keep that momentum up as we go through to the end of the year, it's really straightforward at the end of the day. And I think what it takes is one of those, it's not a 4-letter word, but it might as well be. It's called discipline, right? So one of the things that I'm talking to all of our producers about is really 3 key things. Number 1 is know your dates, right? Casey said this yesterday when I heard him on a call. And he may even have mentioned it earlier today, but he was talking about how Thanksgiving is a day, right? Like it is a day. Christmas is a day. New Year's is a day, right? And now I get it. Everybody wants to take weeks and weeks off for some of these holidays and things of that nature. But the question I want to ask all of you before you decide to take a week or 2 or 3 weeks off for a holiday, and you may think that I'm exaggerating, right? Cicely? Some people, there's no way I'd take off 3 weeks. But it's funny how, you take off that 1 week and then, hard to get started going into the next week. And, New Year's Eve is coming right up. So I might as well just wait till after New Year's Eve. And then, Epiphany. Epiphany is coming up on the 6th. Yeah, so just after Epiphany, we can go ahead and get back started. I mean, it's kind of like in Puerto Rico, Christmas lasts until like January 20th. Like seriously, down here, the island shuts down. You can't get anything done from December 15th until the 20th of January. But guys, that just doesn't really work, right? It doesn't work for our families. It doesn't work if we want to make a consistent income as business owners. When we're in that self-employed quadrant, I have to be able to make those disciplined decisions to know that if I take too long of a break, it's going to take me a long time to restart. So ask yourself this question. Can you afford to take a break? Can you afford to take that? Can you afford to take that break right now? Like if you took the same break that you plan on taking over the holidays, could you do that today and it not affect your family's income? It not affect you guys being able to make the mortgage payment, pay those bills, this, that, and the other. How about this? Do that today, and would it not affect you growing your business? So I have to be willing to ask myself those tough questions depending on where I am in my business. And that's the great thing about this business. There is a day, there is a place where you get to take a week and a half or a 2-week vacation, and it doesn't hurt those things. But until I'm there, I have to be realistic with myself and be disciplined to say, okay, I know those particular dates, and Christmas this year is on Friday. New Year's Day is on Friday, right? So if I know those are the dates, then I can do number 2 is I can look at my schedule and plan out and let my family know, okay, here's when mom, here's when dad is going to be available for Christmas. All right, Christmas is on the 25th. The 24th, I'm going to be off. The 23rd, I'm going to be off. But on the 22nd and 21st, I'm going to be doing some work, right? On the 20th, maybe, I'm going to be doing a little bit of work. And get it scheduled. Go ahead and block it off. We're all making our calendars and our schedules for our, if you're traveling, our plane flights or our car trips or whatever. So while you're planning that stuff out, if you're staying home, while you're planning it out, plan out those specific dates and inform your family. Inform your spouse, definitely, right? Because it doesn't have to be this argument, oh, you're working over the holidays. It doesn't have to be that argument unless you let it become that argument, right? So I just have to be disciplined. And it's something that we should be doing all year long. And that's one of the last thing I'll mention is for producers to kind of get ready for the next year. We should be doing this all year long. We should always be very tight on our schedule. I love having a very strong schedule and a schedule that my family knows, because it doesn't feel like we don't have time together. When dad turns off, I turn off. Talk to anybody in my organization. There's certain times that they call me, there's no way they're going to get an answer, right? And that's because my family knows during that time, just like they help allow me to protect my business time, they know I'm going to protect the family time with as much vigor as they do for me, right? And allows me to do the things that I need to do for them, and so that I can do the things that what they can then do for me when it comes to protecting that time of work. So inform your family, let them know, share that vision for this is why I'm doing this. And then whenever it is the 23rd, 24th, 25th, be off, right? Actually be off. Let things lay until it's time to pick it back up in that next week. And that can allow you to enjoy and appreciate the holidays, but it doesn't allow you to get behind, because that 1 week will turn into a week and a half, will turn into 2 weeks. And as long as you take off, it's that or longer to restart and get your business back going. And the last thing that I would share for personal producers during this holiday season while you're seeing family is share this with your family, right? If you are like, my sister has a policy, my brother has a policy, my youngest brother has a policy, my dad has multiple policies, and he now works in the business. My sister actually is a licensed agent now. My grandmother has a policy from me. Of course, my wife, myself, my kids have policies. We're doing a policy on my nephew, actually, when we see them over this Christmas holiday. So it's like, if you believe in what you do, that's one of the core tenets of what we talk about, right? That's one of the foundational cornerstones of Symmetry, belief in what you're doing. And if you believe, then you should be willing to share it with your family. I've talked recently with a large member of my extended family about talking about this at our upcoming family reunion, because it's becoming more and more important to me to make sure that what I'm learning from a financial education, financial literacy, the debt-free life programs that we have, and just insurance in general is so valuable for my family to have. And shame on me for not being willing to share that. And this isn't, we don't have to go and be needle-nosed Ned Ryerson, right? And just like, Groundhog Day and somebody to death about buying insurance, but share just the value of it. I actually recently wrote a policy on my mother-in-law. She has her own debt-free life policy. She just sold her house, and she's actually putting a lot of the funds that she got from selling that house into her policy, and she's excited about paying off her debt and then being able to use her debt-free life policy to buy her next home. Like those are the cool things that we can do. But if I never talked to my mother-in-law about it, never would have happened. So that would be the third thing, sister, that I would say that people can do from a production side to stay engaged and to move forward through this holiday season in a strong way, and then also to be ready and present as the new year dawns. They're not starting behind the 8 ball. They're already moving forward with good, strong momentum.
Man, awesome, Edward. Love it. I love how they're like a little different from what Purdy was talking about, but all like so relevant. Big things I pulled away is just like discipline. We all know when the holidays are. They happen every year. So let's be disciplined now. Let's have a plan that we've shared with our families. And I love the idea of keeping that momentum and keeping the energy going just by talking to people. What is it? Pope says, someone is going to sell insurance to your family. Someone is going to do that.
Yep.
And would it be a shame if it wasn't you, given that you're a licensed agent? So let's not forget that piece. That's huge. And I really also love this idea. I'm not sure which one of you taught this to me. So much I've learned from all of you on this call throughout the years, but it's like, taking a week off in this business is basically like you're going to feel it for a month. Take a week off, you're going to feel it for a month. You take a month off, you're going to feel it for a year. And I've made those mistakes. I've jumped into those pits, even though you told me not to. So I just think that that's huge, because momentum is fickle. And so love that, Edward. Thank you so much, man. Marshall, let's hear from you. I love watching you live out your life and run your business through these places. Like you're on a beautiful porch right now. Sometimes it's a boat, sometimes it's like, but it's casual, and it's because you've delayed gratification. You've disciplined yourself. You've expected that you're going to win. You've gotten your schedule. Like you've done all these things the gentlemen are talking about right now. But for you, what are you talking about with your teams as a producer and as a leader? How to build up that prosperous new year so that we can have the life that you have, Marshall?
Well, thank you, Cicily. I tell you what, I really appreciate actually being on this call. My gosh, this is a college education right here. With what you guys have brought up, what Casey's brought up, with Brian or with Kevin and Dagon. You've got Edward that just always kills it and everything possible, and it's just such an honor to be here and that I get to be here instead of having to be anywhere. Just thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. And I know Casey was talking about being in his war room or at the main headquarters, and this is kind of my war room here. We've been having a lot of meetings out at the Team Wayland Lake House, and we've been having a blast. And right now, I've got a couple of my top leaders here too. We're just sitting here around the bonfire. I'll just kind of take a look at that there. Look at that, Mr. Ryan Miller there, and then we got Mr. Carl Miller there. So I got my brothers here, and it's kind of neat. Carl is kind of all snuggled up in his little blankie there because he's lost like 700 pounds. So he's feeling the cold. So. And it's very chilly down here in Georgia. It's probably about 60 today. So we had to turn on the fire for Carl. So this is totally our war room. We've been just having a blast, and this has been leading up for the past 6-7 months of being in war rooms and planning and organizing and getting that momentum going. And that's kind of the worst thing we can do is come into the Christmas season and the holiday season and think that we're gonna take off all this time, which is it's great. You mentioned delayed gratification, and that have to delay your gratification and put things off for a while. And then really go full force with this momentum, because the moment you lose that momentum, like you mentioned, you take a week off, it's like taking 3 weeks off. It truly is in this business for a while, because we're always going to be lopsided for a while. When we first come in as a producer, you're going to be putting in a whole lot more time than whenever you develop yourself a leadership team and you develop leaders under you that are true commanders of what they do in leadership. And that's really your goal is really to go out and produce the amount of money to pay your bills, and then put everything back into it to build your team. And that's what our group is phenomenal about. I mean, I'm so blessed to have 10 120s at this point that are true commanders of their group. They look at their group as a recruiting machine, and they all have machines out there that are just on autopilot at this point. People are doing their jobs, and they're looking at how much momentum is creating from these machines. And John Maxwell always tells you that take a little time to reflect, and especially towards the end of the year. And that's great. Let's take that time and reflect, and let's find out what worked last year, and maybe what didn't work so well, and then start to really accentuate on what worked. And for us, it was truly a blessing that the COVID came around. I mean, I hate to say that, but this is just really powerhouse our team to understand that now we can spend more time selling in the homes, but even more time recruiting, because we don't have to spend all that time on the roads driving around. So, the way I look at it, when we reflected about our last year, is, it's fantastic what happened to us. And, it's just a blessing that things happen like this. I mean, I'm sorry for the sorrow of people that have gotten COVID and so forth, but you know what? Symmetry just went ahead and took the bull by the horns and turned the ship to a whole new direction. And it's, we're breaking records. We're just starting to smash things. And 2021 is going to be the biggest year ever for us. We are going to blow it up. No matter what everybody says, man, it is going to be the most awesome year ever coming up right here. And now's the time, guys, that we've got to do it. It's not time to sit back and relax. Right now, these next couple months are the best insurance selling season ever. I look back in my last 8-9 years, and I've always broken records in December. And most insurance companies always say that these are the hard times. The winter times are tough. Not this group, man. Not this group, man. Cemetery is a phenomenal group because we are not really insurance salespeople. We're leadership developers. And this is when we know when the time is most important, because between now and Christmas, more people pass away than any other time of the year. So this is extreme insurance buying season. So it's time to get out now and make your plans and move on and go for it. It's awesome that we have the time now to work always at home because of Zoom and so forth, because now we can still do our family things as long as we're following our schedule. That's the thing. The schedule is so daggone important. And that's what Edward was talking about there, is your scheduling is extremely important. And if you tell your family that this is your schedule and you're going to be hanging with it, and you're going to be 100% at your job during that time, that fires you up to be at work when you're at work. But then when you're off, like Edward was saying, he cuts his phone off. I cut my phone off at a certain time of the day. And I know that I'm not going to get back to them until tomorrow, but it's my time. It's on my schedule. So make sure your schedule is truly your Bible. I mean, you are going through that schedule every day to make sure that you're doing everything that's possible on this schedule. Your schedule should be in 15-minute increments, not hours or 2 hours. It should be boom, boom, boom. And this is how you come out of this end of this year as so much momentum that 2021 will just blow up for you. It's just the way it's going to be and the way it is. So just make it happen. And you got to have that attitude that it's just going to happen. And if you do have that attitude, good golly, it's going to happen. It's just that's just the way it happens. So it's all make it out. Just all go make it out, make it happen, guys. And the world is definitely waiting for us to come make those phone calls and protect families. We're not bugging people this time of year. This is the best time of year to be calling people. People are genuinely in better moods. So let's be in a good mood with them when we talk to them. Let's be a better mood when we're on Zoom with them. And if some people are going in the homes, man, let's have a fantastic time in those homes. You know, let's enjoy our lives. Let's enjoy what we do. And that will be the key to this business. As long as you're happy and having fun during your job, man, life just keeps getting better and better. So thanks, Cicely. These guys have already killed it. And I know that Mr. Danny Young will finish this up fantastic. So I'll let you all go. Thank you.
I love it, Marshall. Like, thank you. Like, couple points that I just pulled out of that, guys. In the beginning, you know, symmetry is about balance, but in the beginning, we will get out of balance, Marshall, right? Like, it's going to feel like we're out of balance, and you may feel out of balance right now, and that's okay. But it's doing those things long enough out of balance. It's going to give you that incredible life moving forward. That was a big takeaway. And also, Marshall, you know, I think you made such a great point, because it's like, look, guys, like, okay, are people traveling more this time of year or less? They're traveling more. Are people spending more time thinking about their family or less time thinking about their family? More. Do people have more disposable income to spend that they're planning on spending, or less? Are people doing more planning for their future at the end of the year, or less planning for their future? They're doing more. And so, like, it from a mindset perspective, guys, it's like, man, anybody that tells you that this is a bad time of year to try to help families, they're delusional. This is the best time. And any hangups that you have about bothering people, you got to let go of those, because, like, the facts are the facts, and now is the time to help those families. So thanks for just pointing out those things, Marshall. Big stuff. All right, so guys, since we went in the order of, you know, age before beauty, then that's why we've got Danny Young going last here, the most handsome in the group. Danny, one of the reasons that that ultimately, I mean, you are the most handsome in my opinion, but the one of the reasons that I wanted to call on you last is because out of all of us on the call, like, you've seen the most holidays in this business. You know, I think that you were in the insurance business maybe before I was born. I don't know. You know, you've seen a lot of holidays come and go. And I wanted to hear your perspective last in this group because of that. So, you know, decades in the industry, you've seen a lot. Talk to us about what kind of messaging are you talking to your teams about, personal producers, leaders, how to keep that momentum, and how have you found that, you know, you just continue on with prosperous new year after prosperous new year in this business?
Cicely, thank you. I appreciate that, most of it anyway. I kind of feel like with this lineup today, I kind of feel like the part of the totem pole that they pour the concrete around, you know. I'm telling you, this is a bunch of high-powered people you got on this call today. So I'll make this semi-short, okay? To my producers, the only message I have for them is, number one, know when the holiday is. Know when it is. And in work days you normally don't work, to replace the days that you can't work, the holiday that you can't work. Because it's hilarious to me that every year somebody showed this. I had no idea Christmas was this week. Well, you need to get out more, okay? Because the whole world knows it's Christmas week. but one thing that we talk about is the fact that this is from our builders, okay? That in our business, you need a license to get paid. You don't need a license to recruit. And so we want them, you know, if you're licensed, fine, you can do everything. If you're not licensed, great, you can recruit, you can build something, you can get the start of it. I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the very end, but you can start the beginning of what could be something just absolutely awesome in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. You can start that this month. Because here's what we talked about to my team. I talked about to my team Sunday night. We got 4 weeks left of this year. 4 weeks. And as dramatic as this might sound, the next 4 weeks can determine your next 10 years. If you do some things other than focus on the fact that, oh my God, it's a holiday month. Marshall said it. I guarantee there's a lot of us that have had just epic Decembers. There's something about December. People are more at ease. People are thinking about their mortality. They're thinking about their family. They're thinking about the fact that there's credit card statements coming in January. They think about all this stuff, and they're more open to taking a look at not only being a client, but to coming to work with us. And so what I talked to my team about the other night was that you can absolutely change your entire world in a very short period of time. And that short period of time may be, for some people on this call, it may be this month. I'll give you two examples. Kyle Kimbrell, who's under Ashley Tarr. Kyle Kimbrell showed up, and I think it was like his third month here. He'd recruited one or two people, but his third month here, he recruited 18 people in 9 days. A lot of those were with three-way calls. I did a lot of those calls with him because Ashley was in, I think y'all were probably in Ireland with Ashley at that time. But in 9 days, first 2 weeks of June of that year, I think it was 5 years ago, he recruited 18 people. Those 18 people included Tony Capistrano, Darren Stubbs, Eric Ondrick, Jaron Davis. But those 18 people, the last 2 weeks of June, those 18 recruits, they all had license, they all knew each other. Those people did 57,000 the last 2 weeks of their first month. In July, they did 156,000. In August, they did 299,000. In September, they did over 300,000. So Kyle Kimbrell's world changed in 9 days. Now, he didn't know it was going to be that 9 days. He didn't know, but he just got after it and brought several people in a short period of time. There's something magical about bringing several people in in a short period of time. Kyle Kimbrell this year is going to scare 10 million in submitted. And the vast majority of that is from those 18 people. So then you take me. Most of y'all know this. I got mortgage protection in 2006, not with Symmetry. But I didn't recruit anybody for 90 days. My plan was to never recruit anybody ever. I'd been in Primerica for 21 years. I watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, it seemed like thousands, come and go. And I was just tired of people quitting. And so I just wasn't going to give anybody else a chance to quit because I wasn't going to recruit anybody else. And I personally produced for 3 months, October, November, December. And in December of 06, I wrote 21,000 personally. Now, I hadn't written 21,000 total in premium in 21 years of Decembers with Primerica. But nobody bought anything with Primerica in December. And then so all your people quit because nobody bought anything, and you started over every January is what it seemed like. And so, but in December of 06, I wrote 21,500 premium personally. And that's when I knew that mortgage protection was a different animal. It's also the month that my world changed, because on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of December of 06, I had one guy called me, wanted to meet with me about some kind of thing he was doing. I went and met with him and a friend of his. I left that restaurant with 2 recruits because my thing was better than their thing. The very next day, I ran into a guy outside a coffee shop, asked me if I was still with Primerica. I told him what I was doing. He said, "You think I could make $1,000 a month working part-time with you?" And then so I got him. The very next day, a guy called me saying, "The word on the street is that you're doing something that would be good for me." You see what an unbelievable recruiter I was? And so I started those 3 days. I got 4 recruits. I started 2007, January 1st, 2007 with 4 people. Now here's what's interesting. One of the 4 did nothing. The guy that called me and said it'd be good for him did nothing. Came to a couple of meetings, talked a little bit about doing something, never did anything. Another guy, the guy that came with my buddy to the restaurant, this guy talked the best game I've ever heard ever. It was unbelievable. He could paint a picture of what he was going to do like nobody's business. Didn't do anything. But see, the other guy at the restaurant became a pretty strong personal producer for a couple of years. And then the fourth guy, the guy I ran into outside the coffee shop, because this is how your world changes. You never know. The fourth guy had to get his license. Took him 6 weeks. In that 6-week period, he brought me 36 people. From those 36 came Tom Chisholm, Ashley Tarr, Sarah Pappas, and everything they have. So in that 3-day period, my world changed. So there's never, ever, ever, ever. Well, let me, speaking of that, see, I didn't make these people. Cicely, this is a mistake I think a lot of people do. They look at this incorrectly. I didn't make these people. I found these people. See, I couldn't have done anything. I did the same thing for all 4 of them. One did nothing. One talked about doing something. One did some personal producing, and one blew the world up. But think about who's on this call today. See, Symmetry found Edward Pritchett. They didn't make him. They didn't train him into who he is today. They found him. They found a guy who found Marshall. Look what Marshall has now. But see, Symmetry found him. Some guy named Kai found Purdy. Kai's gone. So Linwood is the beneficiary of somebody finding Purdy. That's what you have to understand about this. You're not, because we have people that they'll recruit 1 or 2 people, and they'll stop the entire world so they can train these people for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, they don't have anybody because those 2 quit. You find them. See, who Edward Pritchett is today in Symmetry is who Edward Pritchett was 10 years ago. He just didn't have the vehicle to become who he has become. Most companies don't let you become anything. They just let you work there. This company encourages people to become. And that's what's so cool about this is that I guarantee you it didn't take long, because look, they found Pritchett, Pritchett found Delaney, Delaney found y'all. It's a finding thing. And you don't have to worry. See, when you find somebody like the ones we're talking about now, these people are game changers. Game changers. Football team they got 11 players on each side. Well, you got to have 11, but those 11 don't determine the outcome of the game. Your game changers determine the outcome of the game. Your quarterback, your running backs, your wide receivers, those people. Now, you got to have linemen. You got to have them. But I'm telling you, it's those special people that determine the outcome of the game. And that's what's great about this. The Smith brothers talked about on a call, I don't know if it was months ago or years ago, but they sent out 100 emails not long after they got here to people they knew. People, Facebook friends or people contacts on their phone. They sent 100 emails. And I think they said that 80% of their agency today is the result of those 100 emails. That's a big deal. And how many of us could send out 100 emails when you stop and think about it? We could all do that. But no, we don't want to do it. We're going to get one guy, doesn't matter where he came from, doesn't matter what he's accomplished in his life, doesn't matter what his dreams and doesn't matter, because we're going to train that boy, that girl, we're going to train them. You ain't going to believe, watch his smoke. It's going to be the best thing you ever seen in your life. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. You find a game changer, you get out of their way. Game changers, I guarantee you, it took nothing, Cicely, to train you and Ayers. Because you're game changers. Game changers get themselves trained. You don't have to spend time with them. They just get out of their way. Okay, keep them between the ditches, get them what they need, get them what they want, and then go find some more. But that's what we talk about. And you can't focus on the fact that there's a holiday in December. You focus on what you can get done in December to move your business forward. That's what you do, because what you focus on is going to grow. I'm telling you. And I don't think we've ever had a time where there were so many people open to coming to work with us ever in the history of the world. And look, think about this now, especially this month or next month. Cicely, you remember when you were a kid, how long it took to get from Thanksgiving to Christmas Eve. As a kid, it seemed like an eternity. As an adult, it's like, it's there. See, adults don't like Christmas nearly as much now as they did when they were kids. Those credit card statements are coming in December. See, one thing that we talk to our people about is how about having a cash Christmas? How about you don't put anything on a card? How about you don't pay any interest on what you do for Christmas? And see, this company can provide that for you. You can make enough money. You can make enough. You look at some of those numbers that people are doing. They're writing 25,000 in a week. You understand that will pay for this Christmas, next Christmas, and the Christmas after that if they want to. That's what you have here. But you have to understand that this month is an incredibly important month. And if you're not doing what you need to do, if you don't think about it, you don't plan it, it's going to be gone. And you're going to wind up in January saying, oh, hell, I wish I had. And that's that, that pain of regret. There's no pain worse than the pain of regret. I wish I had, And so one of the things that we do, and I think a lot of times we lose sight of this, Cicely, is that a lot of people come here thinking we sell products, we sell insurance, we sell annuities, we sell IULs, we sell debt-free life. And we do all those things, but that's not who we are. What we do is we sell dreams. See, because people that we meet with, people that we have appointments with, people that we try to recruit, see, they don't care about our products. They care about themselves. They care about their hopes, their ambitions, their dreams. Our products just help them get those things. But our job is to help people reach their dreams. And we do that with inspiration. We don't do it with training. We don't do it with products. We do it with inspiration. We inspire people to become better. But see, if you're going to inspire somebody, you got to be inspired. And I'm telling you, the things that we get to do here, you look at Marshall's agency, it's gigantic. You look at how many people's lives have been changed from a product standpoint, from an opportunity standpoint, from protecting their retirement. You look at how many people whose lives have been changed because Marshall made one decision to come try. He decided to come try. And I promise you this, when Marshall showed up, Marshall, just like all the rest of us, he hoped it would work. He hoped this was what he was looking for. He hoped that what they told him was the truth. But see, Marshall stayed here long enough. People helped him long enough. And the Marshall inside of him came to the outside of him and became who he is today. And a lot of people helped him along the way, just like all of us. A lot of people helped all of us along the way. But you look at the thousands and thousands of people that have been impacted in a positive way because Marshall Wayland made one decision, and that was to come try. And that's all we're looking for, is people that will come try. We're going to do the vast majority of the heavy lifting early on. We're going to do that. But you got to find the right people. You have to find winners. You have to find game changers. And you may have to go through a bunch of people to find those people. Some people come here and they find one immediately. You can go to a casino and pull the slot machine one time and win $1 million. That don't happen. That don't happen very often, but it does happen. But you got to keep pulling that lever. You got to keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. You got to keep bringing people in, keep bringing them in. And the game changers are going to identify themselves. And that's what we're trying to do. Because, Kimbrell found Capistrano. Capistrano found Darren Stubbs. Darren Stubbs found Eric Ondrick. Eric Ondrick found Greg Bevan. It just doesn't stop. Same thing with Papa. Same thing with your agency. We got to find them. But see, to find them, we got to be out there looking for them. And to be out there looking for them, it means we want to do something with our life. See, I learned a long time ago, my success is not going to be predicated on how good I am. It's going to be predicated on how good my people are. And good people bring you good people. This I know. And so you go find you one good person, and I promise you this, they know good people. Let's get some of those good people out of their market for them so that they have a chance to stick around long enough to get outside of them what they have inside of them. That makes sense? I'm going to stop with that. I could just go for days, but I'm going to stop.
We could listen to you for days, Danny. Thank you. Thank you so much. And, you know, I think to add anything would be to take away from this call and what all of these guys have taught us here. And I just want to personally say how grateful I am to each and every one of you, because you have modeled and taught for me that if I want something different, I have to be different. And I think for all of us on the call this time of year, what's going to be tested is if we want, do what others won't so that you can live like others can't. And that's what you guys have modeled for me and this company. And with that, you know, everybody out there in Symmetry Land, enjoy that time with your family. Go find a Danny Young, go find a Kevin Purdy, go find an Edward Pritchett, go find a Marshall Wayland, watch your life change. And with that, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. And you guys be safe out there. Thanks for the value that you add to me and everyone else. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Cicely.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cicely.